for the trees. Anne Wakely Jackson. Much has been written and more has been said in regard to the prevention of cruelty to children and the prevention of cruelty to animals, but has anyone ever urged upon the public the prevention of cruelty to trees? It is time someone did, for people nowadays seem to have no regard whatever for a tree's feelings, but saw and hack a limb off here or there at any season of the year the notion happens to seize them, and leave the poor thing maimed and disfigured, and perhaps pouring out its lifeblood from the ugly wound. If you are insensible to the beauty, the blessing, and benignity of trees, there is no use in appealing to you. But surely you are not. Surely you can call to mind some old tree that brings up memories of the past and appeals to you with almost human tenderness. Then, for the sake of these old, tried, and well-beloved friends, look with compassion upon all trees, and discourage those who would spoil and disfigure them. Have you ever thought how sad a tree must feel when it is transplanted from the forest to the city or town? How it must miss its tall and stalwart companions, the shy woodland birds, and the flowers that spring up around it each year. The parting from them all is bad enough, but there is worse to come. It little dreams of the hideous and deforming trimming that will begin as soon as it commences to spread its tiny branches. Poor little tree. I wonder it does not die of grief and pain. Doubtless it sighs and sobs out its longing for the old free home in the ears of the passing wind, though we are too dull to understand its murmuring voice.
Good girl.
Faster than me. It's so hard. Okay, it's too smoky to run, but
You tired everybody out, River?
If the wind is in a good humor, he caresses it gently and tries to comfort it. But sometimes he is angry, and then he shakes the poor tree fiercely. But it loves him always, whether he is gentle or rough. I suppose it is sometimes necessary to trim trees. I hear people say so. But I think a tree of beautiful and perfect shape is more desirable than the little patch of lawn that might be gained by trimming it up.
Yeah. Go easy.
whoa,
Easy.
careful. This reminds me of that thing they have at what is it, Bishop Farms?
Yep. You can do it. Easy, easy.
Whoa, watch out. Careful, you
That might be tough.
Some rocks are hard.
Oh, you can do it. Look at that. That's like vertical almost.
Some things are harder for river
Easy,
because you can't
easy.
like stretch out.
That's
like.
Ought not one to consider and carefully study the tree as a whole before venturing to remove any of its branches? to examine it from every point of view. Above all, if your tree must be trimmed, see about it yourself and don't trust them to the ruthless hands of people insensible to beauty, those to whom a tree is only so much wood, and be very sure your cause is justifiable before you allow them to be touched. Remember that the finest trees are of slow growth, and if ever you are tempted to cut down a really fine one, just stop a moment and reflect that it may take half a lifetime to replace it. If these people who have a mania for cutting down trees could be persuaded to plant a new one for every old one they sacrifice, what a blessing it would be to future generations.